you this email so I don't about it later. Well, I'm going to send you the links and all that kind of stuff anyway too. But. Where did I just put that? Pictures. There we go. Okay. And now I'm up here. Okay. So then we should be able to see, if you can see up here in this top section, if there's any viewers, if people are coming in, that's where that will show. But sometimes top section up here on the black screen where we are.
On the black screen where we are. Okay.
It was live, 57 seconds. Whatever.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
The little eyeball will show if somebody's watching us.
Ooh. Cool.
Which they may or they may not, but we'll keep an eye on the chat and we'll keep an eye on the comments. So I was going to post that in the private chat. That's just for us. So we need to make sure that we're posting that in the comments here.
Oh, there's the comments. I see. Comments. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to put that website link into the comments too?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. So maybe I'll stick with that.
And then I'll put your LinkedIn. That's one thing. You don't have your LinkedIn profile in your email footer, Joyce. You need to add that in there. So
oh, dear.
Click to
connect. I had it one time, but I didn't. Yeah, let me make a note.
Yeah. So let me go to LinkedIn and see what's going on there.
Okay.
And I'll grab that and put it in our comments as well.
Oh, great.
Okay, we got a couple people here. So
see, I don't see that, but that's fine.
Yeah. Awesome. So welcome. We are going to get started. We've got some people joining us for the live. So we want to just give a few more minutes for people to find us and join us for this live stream. I am so excited to be interviewing Joyce for her release of her 6th edition of her LinkedIn ebook. It's an amazing book full of great tools. I've known Joyce since when did we meet, Joyce? In 2014?
2013, I think.
2013, yeah. So we've known each other for quite a while. And I've always been a fan of Joyce's, and she's helped me and helped many of my clients and many of my, connections, referrals that I've sent her. She's helped many of them, including my husband, update his LinkedIn profile. So she knows her stuff. And this ebook is one of those ways that she is able to help share her knowledge with the world. So we're going to jump in and go through some questions here today. And at the end, we'll show you the ebook and make sure everyone knows how they can go and download it. And then if you see the ebook and you're like, I just need some help, then please, please, please call Joyce and she can help you get through it. So Joyce, what inspired you to create the first edition of your book back in 2015?
Well, what was happening is I was about 2 years into my business at that point. I started to get, as many people do, those commonly asked questions, those FAQ types of questions. I had met Beth Klepper, who is my video consultant, through networking, and I took a plunge into video marketing when it was still not really so much done yet. I was very pleased with the results, so I talked with Beth about other things that we could do besides the videos. And together we came up with this idea of having text accompany the videos and take it a little more structured approach, because they had been, I want to say, kind of random in a way, where I really put thought into what are these questions and how do they group together? Came up with a name, 9 Ways to Stand Out on LinkedIn. The original series was called Just the Facts, Ma'am, which I really like because that's my style, is just the facts. Let's get to the point. So that's how the idea of having the ebook came into play, is realizing that people learn some better through reading, like I'm more like that, some by watching a video, and some both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then you've updated it. This is the 6th edition. So first edition came out in 2015, and now you've updated for the 6th time. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen on LinkedIn in the last 10 years, right, since 2015, that influenced you to maybe update this, make this update to your book, your ebook?
Well, I'm going to split that really into 2 questions.
Okay.
I know, in terms, we'll take the second part first. Why do an update? Well, there's always little bitty things that are going on with LinkedIn. For example, just recently, I mean, in the last few months, I'd say, LinkedIn has started limiting the number of notes you can send out with invites. So another way is to put this number of invite that can be accompanied by a note to only 5 times a month. Personally, I think that's a money grab on the part of LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'm a pretty big fan of theirs. So I felt it was important to include that piece of information in the update of the ebook so people would know to have a workaround in a situation like that. That would be an example.
Nice.
Sometimes things look a little differently on the LinkedIn screen, whether on your phone or on the computer. They rearrange things here and there. So to make sure when people see those videos in the LinkedIn ebook, I want them to be as up to date as possible, realizing things change, overnight. But to the first question, the kind of larger question, how has LinkedIn changed over the last 10 years? Well, being that ChatGPT and I are really close now, I'm calling it Athena, is my new name for my AI tool. I asked Chat, or now Athena, tell me about these changes. I'm going to read just some excerpts here. Over the past decade, LinkedIn has transformed from a formal resume-style platform into a vibrant professional community. Although I beg to differ a little bit, because I think when this platform was created, even before Facebook in 2003, the deal was it was supposed to be that vibrant type of business community. But I do agree with AI when it says originally it was kind of stodgy, very business, very kind of buttoned up type of thing, like what you talk about in the boardroom, not to use an old analogy, but the water cooler, the break room. Mm-hmm. So now there is more room for authenticity, storytelling. People talk about aspects of their lives that go beyond work. They may give life lessons, personal challenges. They talk about topics like mental health challenges, leadership styles, volunteering, career pivots. People, I think, are more vulnerable and more open now on LinkedIn. And that to me is very appealing. Now, some people will complain about how LinkedIn's become too much like Facebook. Well, then I say, don't follow those peeps. You don't have to see things in your feed you don't want to look at. You can remove that connection. I think it's just simpler just to stop following them, because then you can still communicate with them in other ways.
Right. And so it has become more personal. I think a lot of that happened during COVID as well, where people were on Zoom, they got to know each other, they got to see the cat walking across the screen, right? So business kind of shifted into a more, I'm showing up as a human being, and that translates into LinkedIn too. And LinkedIn saw that and said, we're not just all for job seekers anymore. We are here to have a platform for people to share their leadership thoughts and ideas and things like that. So I love the transition that it's made as well. So, okay, I want to jump. Joyce, again, mentioned that she has her Athena, her AI tool that she uses. And so she sent me a list of questions, but I'm going to flip them around a little bit, Joyce, because I want to know, who is this book primarily written for? Like, who should download the ebook?
Really important question. I wrote it for people who are new to LinkedIn, relatively new to LinkedIn, people who haven't been on LinkedIn in 10 years, the job seekers of the world, not just business people like you and me, Mary, but there's a lot of those folks out there that they're like, oh, how does this go again?
Right.
So the people who just feel overwhelmed and mystified by being on LinkedIn at all. So that's largely who I intended for and still intended for. Yet people who might still find it valuable and might want to download it are people that are saying, oh gosh, I've seen those articles. Are articles still a thing as opposed to, say, a post? Now, I don't go into the LinkedIn newsletter in my ebook because that I feel is like 201 LinkedIn, not 101 LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But still, people could still write a standalone article, almost like a little white paper. They'll think, oh, I have this evergreen type material. I don't want it just to be ephemeral, to use a fancy word like post here today, gone tomorrow. How do I create that? So as people evolve in their use of LinkedIn, then they start to have more sophisticated questions and thoughts on it, some of which will be in the ebook, not, of course, all of it.
Right, right. It's great. And the layout of the feed of the ebook, you know, when you're thinking, oh, it's just going to be a bunch of text, it's not. It's different because, as you mentioned, it started from a series of videos. So you have video clips in the ebook and links where they can click on things and things like that. So it's really interactive and then walks you through all of the steps. So what kind of feedback have you received from people who have downloaded the ebook and, you know, kind of gone through the material?
Oh, people are so happy, especially for those who have become my clients, because they are like A student type of personalities. So they'll have gone in, they'll have customized their URL. They may have changed out an email address, so it's the work one, not their Yahoo or who knows what they had in their MSN.
Right.
I'm talking about older people here often. So they have done a few things, and probably most importantly, they start to know what they don't know. Like, oh, that's a thing. That's a concept. That's a function on LinkedIn. So they really feel more prepared to have a more meaningful interaction with me when we have that LinkedIn session.
Yes. Good. And like Joyce said, if you don't know what you don't know, right? So each social media platform is slightly different. And so really having this guide, and it's 9 ways to stand out on LinkedIn, right? So it's very specific what you cover in each of the chapters. And having that guide to say, okay, I didn't even know I could change this on LinkedIn, or, you know, changing your notifications, those kind of things, right? So it is, there's all the profile pieces, but then you go into so much more in depth. So it's really powerful for anyone. I've been on LinkedIn for, I don't know, I think since 2010, and pretty frequent user, but I learn stuff from your ebook, right? And I learn stuff every time I talk to you and come to your classes and those kind of things, right?
One other quick thing that not people don't think about is, say, and I have one lady just like that today. She wants to connect with me. No, not a surprise, especially with those 5 no limit things. So what you can do is, when you're looking at your pending invites, and at the top right of that section where it says invitations, you can click on manage if it's just one pending invite, or it will say show all if there's more than one. You click on that and you go to this, essentially an interior page in which there's a little blue message hyperlink right below that person's name and picture and headline. So now I can click on that message, even with a free account, and write a message to that potential connection. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for the invite. What prompted you to reach out to me? What prompted you to reach out to me, or in your own language, whatever way you want to frame it. So I call it a conversational ball that I've thrown back to them. And now they can message back and forth with me. Even again, with the free account, there's no limits on that. We can have this whole little conversation, boom, boom, boom. And then after I see what they write to me, I'll decide. Or maybe they don't write to me. Not a good sign, unless they look really cool. And I might still accept them anyway.
Right, yeah. And something you taught me earlier, because, you know, I would look at the number of connections. Oh, we're connected to 47 of the same people, right? But maybe I don't really know those 47 people in my 3,000 people I'm connected to, right? So is it really a valid connection? Do I need that person in my life, right? So if it's another LinkedIn person, no, probably I don't need them because I've got Joyce on my corner, right? So, looking at who the connection is and do you need to be connected to that person. So,
Well, and just a quick little anecdote. I once had a guy ask me to connect, and he was connected to all these honchos within Toastmasters International. I'm talking like the presidents. That's a volunteer job, by the way. I mean, these are well-known people. They just randomly accepted this dude. So then I write to him, still feeling that his profile was kind of sketchy. So I write, and he goes, "Oh, well, I liked your smile." Ew.
Yeah.
So that's a report. I mean, I have blocked at least 1,137 people. And by the way, they limit your blocking to 1,200. So I don't block as many as I used to. But I've reported people like him for inappropriate use of LinkedIn. So don't necessarily think because, trustworthy people are connected to that person as someone you want to even be always be wary.
Right. Good. I want to just quickly share the screen here so people can see what this book looks like. So let's see if I can do it. I just have to add to the stage. There we go. So here's a copy of Joyce's book, 9 Ways to Stand Out on LinkedIn, with her beautiful smile on the front. And then you'll see there are the 9 chapters. So it's very well laid out. So if you just want to work on one thing in your LinkedIn profile or on LinkedIn, how to, expand your connections, how to share and engage. So there's all kinds of ways to use LinkedIn. And then when you go in here, what I think is so special about this is, again, she gives you the links, and then you'll see these little YouTube videos where you can watch her walk through the steps. So you can read the text, you can follow along, you can click the links, and then you can watch, she's got screenshots of what you're going to see, and then watch the YouTube video. So that's where it's really, really helpful for anybody who's new to LinkedIn, or if it's been a while since you've updated any of the settings, all you're doing is going and looking at your feed every day. Maybe it's time you download this ebook and spend some time, updating your LinkedIn profile. So it's a really well laid out book. And, I encourage everyone to download it. It doesn't cost you anything to download it. And then if you get in here and you're all of a sudden looking at all of these things you need to do, and if you get stuck, just call Joyce. She has these amazing 2-session packages to help you update things and then learn how to use it. And she also has her once a month 4-person mini workshop. So what are those workshops called again, Joyce?
Enhance your LinkedIn profile.
Nice. So if you're looking at these 9 ways that you download the ebook, you see the 9 ways to stand out, and you're like, I don't have time. I need some help guiding through it. I need to prioritize those 9 ways. Then take one of those classes with Joyce. She has them on the second
Friday, 9 to 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And you sign up through my meetup group, Simplify Your Social Media Meetup. That's where you go to pay the money for the workshops. And the big difference, well, there's several differences between learning in a group and having one-to-one engagement. One thing I want to stress is in the workshop, you can only give me 3 sections of your profile. So I think the workshops are especially good for someone that already has worked with me or spent a lot of time on it already, but they still feel like it could be polished up a little bit more. And not only do you get feedback from me and my Athena AI tool, together we collaborate, we give you all kinds of cool, feedback, and the other 3 people in the workshop can chime in too in real time. So it experiences a community of learners are created, and it's absolutely lovely.
Yes, I love that. And the key thing is it will be done when you leave the workshop, or 90% done, right? So you're going to walk through the sections, you're going to make the edits, you're going to get the feedback, you're going to be doing that while you're on the call together. And then you don't have to think about it again. Then you can just go back to, okay, now I know everything's updated the way it should be. And here I am interacting with LinkedIn, right? So,
and the same thing actually, is and with the tutoring session, the first hour is really real time making those changes, just like you were saying we can do during the workshop, but it's more comprehensive because we're covering your entire profile and even adding sections to it. You maybe never heard of that section until I told you.
Right.
And then the second hour is more the user side. People always say, help me with my profile. A lot of people, this doesn't occur to them. Oh, maybe I could also help you with vetting your connections, with thinking about ideas for content, for how to use the search function, for how to get rid of those pesky notifications that drive me wild till I dump them out of my life. So
Yes.
it is more multifaceted than sometimes we appreciate.
Yes, yes. And I've done both. I've done the one-on-ones working with Joyce, and then I've also done her update your profile, right? Because every once in a while you just need to have somebody else look at it and say, with somebody, when you look at it with somebody, you're like, oh, I totally forgot that I added this service, or I wrote this book, or I got this award, or I volunteered for this project, right? And that's where we're going through it with somebody who knows LinkedIn and knows all the sections of LinkedIn can really help bring that out of you. So I highly, highly recommend working with Joyce. So Joyce, if somebody only has 15 minutes or so to skim through the book, what do you hope that they walk away with?
Well, I know I probably sound like a broken record. I know that's an old analogy, but vinyl is coming back, right?
Yes.
At any rate, customize your LinkedIn URL. Please do that, because it's going to look so much more polished up there at the top of your profile when it isn't just Joyce Feustel AB 2526, ZY. No, you can have it customized. Like I have Joyce Feustel, social media trainer. That's what I have. You've up to 100 characters. Way back in the day, you had maybe, 25 or 50. So that's a big one. Also, I hope they have more confidence about reaching out to other people. And they're more discerning about the people reaching out to them to connect. And they don't just say, oh, yeah, accept. We don't want to be accepting people just willy-nilly. I think, too, I'd like to see people write more recommendations. Let's have generosity of spirit. We always think about asking for a recommendation, like asking for a Google review. Those are important things to do as well. Make sure you have some current recommendations up there. Ask the people that write you Google reviews to write you a LinkedIn recommendation. So those are things I'd like you to consider, but especially write some of your own. And then finally, get brave enough to create just a little bit of content. A little bit of content on LinkedIn can go a long ways. Once a week, maybe even twice a month. You just baby step your way in and start with posts. Just put a couple paragraphs up. You use a visual, maybe refer to some information you found from somebody you admire and want to share this information out there. Tag that person, even mention they call it on LinkedIn. The cool thing about LinkedIn, you can mention people you're not first level connected with. It's like Mary and I are first level, but maybe there's somebody who I think really needs to be pulled into this conversation, this post of mine, and maybe they're even someone I'm referring to in my post. So do that. I had a guy just today. I connected him in a mention last night on LinkedIn. He's new to my Toastmasters Club. And just this morning, I see him. There he is, wants to connect with me. How about that?
Yeah.
So I think those types of things, they really are the heartbeat of LinkedIn. The connections you have and the value you offer through your posts, or even here's another one, commenting now and again on other people's posts. That helps bring up visibility of their posts and helps you get associated with them.
Right. I love it. And that you're asking people to, think of how they can help support their LinkedIn connections. Can we make a recommendation? Can we can we share? Can we repost somebody's post for them? So I know we kind of skimmed through just the images of the book, but some content specifics I just want to get into about really quick. So you've mentioned some of these today, just simple profile tweaks. So download the book, make sure you update your URL, right? The simple things, make sure your contact information is up to date. All of the instructions, if you're not sure where to go and how to do that, all of the instructions are in the ebook for you, right? Chapter 4 focuses on, like you just said, LinkedIn recommendations. So what are some ways that we can use that as professional business people, both to ask for recommendations and receive recommendations?
Oh, really good point.
Yeah.
So So there's your recommendation. Maybe you have a lot of recommendations like I do. Maybe the very best one is number 87 out of 100. Well, are people really going to scroll through 87 recommendations? Probably not.
No.
So you take that, maybe not the whole recommendation, it might be kind of long, take maybe 1 or 2 sentences of it, and it's public already, right? It's a recommendation. And then just copy that and put it up into your about section. Put it into the position for which they had recommended you. I've done that, both of those, and I've sometimes changed it out. You have, again, sort of sister activity, your Google business review on your Google business profile. Mary, that code I have from you, I believe, is directly off of Google, not your LinkedIn recommendation. So sometimes you're not even connected with people, right? So this is, again, sort of a sidebar idea. You take that cold Google review and put that, or a shortened version of that, into the about or into your position description.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Yes. And like you said, don't be afraid to ask for reviews once you go into that section. And the instructions are in the book, right, on how to go in and ask for reviews, how to do that through LinkedIn, and then how to give somebody a review, right? And then you have the ability to accept the review when somebody leaves it for you. So there's, that alone is worth downloading the book, including all of the other great tips that are in there, right? So
I just want to, before we get too close to closing up, thank Crystal DeBoer for her comment there. And Crystal, by the way, is somebody who's given me the courage to do a YouTube short. And that's one of my goals, to do more of those, because that's a lot of fun if you have the guts to do it. And that's totally offline of this topic, but I wanted to appreciate Crystal.
Yes, I love it. I love it. In the final section of the book, you explore sharing and engaging, right? So some people may be nervous about making their first post or writing that article. And so what advice would you give someone who wants to be more visible on LinkedIn, but doesn't really know where to start?
Those are a couple of related, topics. But we'll start. Sometimes I think it's easier for people to just comment. So they haven't had to make up that original content. No, they can just give their point of view, elaborate on that post. Never argue with that person. That would be kind of tacky. But say, one other thing that occurs to me that that's supportive of your point here is this, the other aspect, whatever it might be. And people, I find almost, thank you, Joyce. That was insightful. I appreciate that. So you're really doing everything you can to enhance them and bring value to them, but then it's coming from you. So people see, Joyce Feustel, I think I've heard of her. So it's good PR on your end to do that. Another thing you might consider more selectively is reposting, or sharing is used more commonly within LinkedIn or even like Facebook. So now you're taking that particular post and you're essentially putting it up into your in your profile in a way. I mean, so it's going to be found under your post. A repost is still considered technically broadly a post, and you can even feature that particular repost if it was so good and so on point. You're like, I'm going to leave that up in that featured section of my profile for a week or two perhaps. So that's a thought, another way to bring visibility to that person, to yourself. And then again, think about who is my audience and what do they need to know? And consider actually expanding what you post about. Being I'm a Toastmaster for almost 30 years, I bring up Toastmasters a lot. My post last night was called Ask for Feedback and do something with the feedback. And I asked a gal who was at the meeting last night to take pictures of me speaking and of the audience. Because if you want to get feedback on your speaking, there's no better place to go than to Toastmasters, which helps you improve your communication and leadership skills. So if you are passionate about, maybe it's your service club or anything, other aspect of your life is people as part of really in the fabric of who you are. That's where LinkedIn is so good, because it expects almost those kinds of posts are so much more common now, as we said earlier.
Right. We get to show up as a whole human being and not just about our business, right? Which is awesome. So we're putting Joyce's LinkedIn profile here. It's in the chat as well. So make sure you connect to Joyce at the very least. We'll see if she accepts your connection or not. Because as we heard, she's particular about who she connects with, but then she's a great connector of people as well. So make sure you connect with her. And then you can go to her website, Boomer Social Media Tutor, and they can find out information about your classes, about your coaching, your one-on-one coaching, and then they can download the book on your website as well, right?
Yeah, it's under resources. Because you can learn about my meetup group there, and you can see the FAQ videos on LinkedIn, which are sort of in a separate playlist actually over on YouTube. And then that's where you can click into the landing page where you can sign up for, and you can download the ebook. If you've already are on my email mailing list, I'm running into this, then just email me and I'll send you a PDF of the 6th edition. That's
Okay.
kind of couple people up. And it does put you then, as I said, once you download you once a month, you'll hear from me with social media tips, what's going on with my meetup group. It's a very short, simple monthly newsletter. So I think it's a great way to keep hearing from me and getting value, every month.
Yes, I agree. So, okay, it's time for us to wrap it up. So again, please go and visit Joyce's website. You can find all the resources that we've talked about today on her website under the resources page. Do yourself a favor and download the free ebook, 9 Ways to Stand Out on LinkedIn. We really want you to utilize this tool. If you own your own business, people are looking at your LinkedIn profile. We can guarantee that. So we want to make sure you are making sure you're putting your best foot forward when people are looking at your profile.
I do have a correction. It's
Okay.
Start Learning. That's the tab. I quick looked it up because I changed it. Right. So Start Learning. So that's the idea of like no money is even changing hands yet, right? You can start learning. So that's where the tab, there's 3 little down, just tabs underneath that. And the ebook is the 3rd one down. The drop down.
Perfect. Great. So grab the ebook, book a call with Joyce, get to one of her Enhance Your LinkedIn Profile workshops. They're all amazing. And Joyce, it's just been so fun to get to share this book with our audiences today, and wish you the best of luck in getting it out into more hands so that everybody can show up more professionally in their business.
And thank you so much, Mary, for hosting me. I'm so grateful to you. I don't have StreamYard. You're a pro. You've done a lot more of these interviews on that end than I'm like my business coach for life. So at least, I still have my business, but maybe even then you could be my coach. So yes, thank you so much, Mary.
You're so welcome. And if you're watching this live, thank you for showing up. And if you're watching the recording later, thank you for watching. And please go connect with Joyce on LinkedIn, and you can find me on LinkedIn as well. I'm happy to connect to you as there too. Okay, thanks and have a great afternoon.
Bye.